Hello everyone. Today we are presenting Is Khasi Society Truly Matriarchal in Meghalaya? An AI-assisted analysis of matrilineal and gender power in Khasi society.
In this study, we examine how AI tools and anthropological research help us understand the difference between matrilineal and matriarchy in Khasi society.
We'll briefly cover the background, methodology, assisted analysis, and in our final findings. The persistent myth and consensus. Khasi society is often called a matriarchy because lineage and inheritance pass through women. However, anthropologists like Nongri and Roy argue that Khasi society is matrilineal, not matriarchal. This distinction is important because inheritance through women does not automatically mean women hold political or social power.
Separating descent from power. This slide compares matrilineal and matriarchal in Khasi society. Descent and property follows the mother's line, especially through the youngest daughter. But political leadership and decision making remains largely male dominant. So, lineage through women doesn't necessarily translate into women's rule.
Structure of Khasi kinship. Here we see how authority is distributed in Khasi kinship. The youngest daughter, or Khattu, inherits ancestral property, but maternal uncle often controls decisions related to rituals, disputes, and property use. This shows that male authority is not removed, instead, it is relocated within the maternal family structure.
The methodological pivot. Our study turns this debate into a testable question. First, we reviewed anthropological literature. Second, we use LLMs to create counterfactual scenarios of what a true matriarchy would look like. Third, we perform semantic analysis to trace how powers and authorities are described in the text.
AI-assisted analytical pipeline. This structure summarizes our AI-assisted workflow. We use established anthropological text as input for the LLM. All AI-generated outputs are manually verified with original resources. The goal was not to replace the research, but to support analysis through structured comparisons and keyword mapping.
Designing the counterfactual prompt. To test the idea of matriarchy, we asked the model what pattern we would expect in a truly matriarchal society. For example, would women dominate governance, land control, and dispute resolution? These generated criteria were then compared with actual ethnographic evidences.
The counterfactual litmus test. The AI-generated predictions did not match the Khasi reality. Women do not dominate village councils, leadership positions, or land governance. Instead, these roles remain mostly under male authority. So, the counterfactual test supports that conclusion: Khasi society is matrilineal, not matriarchal.
Parsing the language of power. We also examined how language related to power appears in the literature. Words like authority, control, decision making were more often linked to male actors. Meanwhile, women were more commonly associated with lineage, continuity, custodianship. This reveals a clear distinction between symbolic importance and governing power.
Semantic distribution of authority. This slide visualizes how authority-related terms cluster around different social roles. Male institutions like Dorbarshno are linked to governance and dispute resolution. Women, the Kattu, are more closely connected to lineage and household responsibility. So even supportive texts still associate formal authority with male figures.
Modernity reconfigures patriarchy. This slide explains how modernization changes power structures. In traditional settings, the maternal uncle helped measure authority. But when urbanization, Christianity, and wage labor power increasingly shift towards husband and father in nuclear families, this shows that patriarchy adapts rather than disappears.
Methodological implications. Our study also highlights how AI can support social science research. LLMs can make abstract concepts like matriarchy more measurable and testable. Semantic mapping also helps reveal hidden patterns in academic language, but human interpretation and ethnographic knowledge remain essential throughout the process.
Final verdict and closing. To conclude, Khasi society is matrilinear in inheritance and descent, but not matriarchy in political authority.
Our AI-assisted analysis supports existing anthropological findings by making these power structures easier to test and visualize.
This study demonstrates how AI and social science can work together to better understand gender and power.
Thank you for your listening.